Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You won't miss any of my updates. Today I'm collaborating with Jennifer Woods. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming to my channel. If you haven't already, please go to her channel and like, share, and subscribe to Jennifer's channel. You don't miss any of her updates because she is on it when it comes to reviews. We had this video since last year, and I had misplaced it, and I was deleting a lot of my stuff out of my emails, and I was like, oh gosh, I need a new one because it was a lot going on with my storage and stuff, and I was trying to clear stuff out so I could make reviews, and I just took a break, and I was just like, oh, I'm so pissed. But we are back on it. It's called VC Andrews All That Glitter Isn't Gold. Now, this is one of a series, and if you have not already, get Lifetime Movie Club and stream all of VC Andrews shows, well, movies. She was an author, and she was actually really, really good. She has a lot of like Flowers in the Attic. Me and Jennifer did a lot of collaborations. Let me pull up my thing right quick and show, because we did a few collaborations. We did some collaboration on her channel, we did some on my channel. But we did a lot of collaborations. Like, it's insane. We did like quite a few. We did it's a movie that we had did, and it's actually currently streaming on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you might want to go check it out. It's the Heidi Brewster story. I might be saying the lady's name wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at name. Her it's Heidi. I think it was My Best Friend's Baby, or hold on, let me see. Give me 1 second before I turn off the mic to Jennifer. Where's my movie at? Shoot, you would think. Hold on, y'all. We did it, but where is it at? We did The Burning Bed together, but we did the Heidi Brewster story. Where is it? Okay, Stolen Baby: The Murder of Heidi Brewster. We did that together, and it was an awesome collaboration. And I actually liked that collaboration. If you haven't already, you might want to check that out. She did Flowers in the Attic. I did Flowers in the Attic. She did the series, and it's on her channel. Let me see what else, because we did quite a few stuff, Jennifer. Give me 1 second. Oh, give me 1 second. We did quite a few stuff. I think it was mostly on her channel or my channel. I can't even remember. Now I'm looking at all this stuff. We did. Because we did quite a few stuff together. We did Ruby together, and that's what we're talking about. So we're doing the All That Glitters Isn't Gold. We did A Killer Amongst Friends, and that's on my channel too. I should go to her channel right quick. Give me 1 second, because I want to see what we did together, because I have a collab alert, me and Jennifer. I have that on my page. It's a picture. Me and Jennifer did like a lot of stuff together, and we have more to come. So I'm super excited what the summer and what the future holds for us to do collaboration. We did Dawn together, and Dawn was like, oh my god. Sorry, that was my email alert. But Dawn, y'all, remember when we did Dawn, Jennifer? Like, oh my god. But I don't want to talk too long, because I have talked up 3 minutes. But we are gonna get Jennifer on here, and we're gonna talk about the collaboration of All That Glitter Isn't Gold. But I hope you guys enjoy it, and take it away, Jennifer.
Hey everyone, Jennifer Woods here. Thank you so much for having me on your channel, Althea, so we can talk about the third movie in the Landry series, All That Glitters. I have not read the book in a minute, so I won't be having anything to say about that. So I always knew Paul was well off, but I thought that was just compared to Ruby's swamp shack. He's actually doing really well for himself. He buys this estate for the two of them to live in that rivals the home in New Orleans. I actually think it might even be nicer. He and Ruby have known for a while now that they're half-sibs through their mother, which was an interesting twist. Usually you're surprised to find out you're half-sibs through your father, but not in these books. Paul was born to Ruby's mother, and then the father raised him. Paul wants to marry Ruby, but Ruby's like, no, the sin. When did she turn into Grandmother Foxworth? Yeah, it is a sin, but so is cheating on your spouse and having babies out of wedlock in some religious circles. I'm pretty sure that's not the primary reason why most people refrain from marrying a blood relation. He's like, but it doesn't have to be a real marriage. We can just live together, like brother and sister, only husband and wife. Separate suites, a marriage in name only. She's like, I don't think I can do that. I have my needs. And he's like, You could still have your needs satisfied if you one day find that special someone. I won't stand in your way. So you see, it's win-win. So she's like, great, let's do this thing. Do we have a feeling, guys, that this could end badly? So they marry, but first that creepy old Buster comes back for a hot minute and tries to marry Ruby first, but she doesn't go for that. You can do, to quote Hall & Oates. I recognize the guy who plays Mr. Tate, Paul's father. He also played the Reverend in the Castile series, the creepy, pervy Reverend Wise. Mr. Tate, of course, knows that his son has married his sister, and he's shockingly fine with it, so long as they don't spill his shameful secret. Oh, I'm sure they're just dying to announce to the world that they're really brother and sister, play acting as husband and wife. I'm sure it will be so hard for them to keep from just shouting it out to everyone in the village square. Mrs. Tate is not happy that Ruby has a nanny, and oh yeah, that her son is married his half-sister. She's worried because Paul's sister Jean still doesn't know about her father's past indiscretion. Giselle stops by for a visit. She announces the fact that, guess what? Beau's single again and back in NOLA. Ruby's like, fudge! Oh yeah, and Ruby really wishes she could be someone else because it's tough being married to her brother. This is one instance where pretending to be her twin would not help with her little conundrum because her twin is related to Paul too. Ha! That's the problem with being identical twins. You tend to be related to the same exact people. But hold that thought about the twin switcheroo because it's coming, just not yet. Paul decides that a great way to spice up their incestuous marriage is to pretend that he's some soldier named William. So they have a nice dinner together with him role-playing as a fake long-dead colonel. Anyway, later on, they forget themselves in the fantasy and do the do. Paul later refers to it as a dream. That was just a dream, Ruby. It did not happen. So Ruby learns that her stepmom died. That sucks. Daphne was horrid, but it's still sad to hear she had to go and lose her life over it. Apparently she fell off a horse. Ouch. Oh, and her new husband Bruce is mad because he's out of her will. He spends an awful long time writing about that finer detail. One of the twins is like, I thought you married her for love. Ha, fool. I'm beginning to think this horse riding incident wasn't an accident at all. So now Giselle and Beau are together. Beau had no idea he had a daughter Pearl with Ruby. He thought she got rid of the baby. He also had this quick engagement to some girl in another country not too long ago. He didn't really love that former fiancé, though. Well, no shirt. He must have only known her for a couple of months. So now Giselle and Beau are married, but it's not really Giselle Beau wants. It's her sister, his baby mama. He suggests to Ruby that they have an affair. Ruby tells Paul she's going into New Orleans to hook up with an art dealer. Paul's like, you go, girl. She doesn't want to hurt his feelings, even though he totally said she can peace out at any time if the right man came along. She confides in Beau that Paul is really her brother, and he's like, well, in that case, what we're doing is totally fine. And, of course, nobody cares about Giselle's feelings. Her. Paul finds out about Beau and Ruby's tryst, and he does come around and accept that she was well within her sister-wifing rights. But still, he begs her to end the affair because it hurts his feelings. Now Giselle has gotten bitten by a mosquito and has fallen into a coma. They think she has some kind of encephalitis. This family can't seem to catch a break. So Beau suggests to Ruby that they do the old switcheroo. He's got a doctor he can pay off to keep his mouth shut, so she needs to make up her mind now. Is she in or is she out? I feel like this could be a Meatloaf song. Let me sleep on it. No, she doesn't sleep on it. She confides in Paul because I suppose she couldn't exactly convince him to take in her comatose sister and pretend that it's her without some explanation. And Paul, for some reason, says he's fine with this arrangement. He didn't want her having an affair with Beau under his nose while pretending to be his own wife, but he's perfectly fine accepting responsibility for the empty shell of a sister-in-law while Ruby lives it up as Beau's hoity-toity spouse. Someone explain that V.C. Andrews' ghost-written logic to me. Ruby has a little too much fun pretending to be a bitch. It scares me how much she actually enjoys being horrible to people. It's all a ruse, of course, but is it? Well, she's not mean to everyone. She runs into her old friend Abby from school at one point, but Abby figures out her true identity. Abby promises to keep her secret. Paul calls up Ruby and lets her know that his doctor is much more optimistic about Giselle's prognosis than the country bumpkin they must have seen in New Orleans. Paul reminds Ruby about the curse she put on Giselle back in the first movie. Apparently, it's still going strong. Curse strong, we're cursed strong. All right, so Landry cursed strong. Later, Paul admits that, yeah, the swamp doctor didn't know what the hell he was talking about because Giselle took a turn for the worse. Evil stepfather Bruce. Is your widowed stepmother's new husband also your stepfather if she married him after you became a legal adult? I have no idea how that works. Anyway, evil Bruce finds out Ruby's secret because she's painting a picture and Giselle can't paint a picture to save her life. If there was ever an opportunity to find that out, it's now because I don't see her doing much painting in the comatose state she's currently in, even though it could potentially save her life, but apparently it can't. Bruce seems to think he's in a position to blackmail Ruby with this newfound info, but she quickly puts him in his place. She knows about all of his shady dealings.
And wasn't he messing around with Giselle when she was only just a little child of about 16 or 17?
I have no idea if he was actually messing around with Giselle when she was any age. Maybe he was, but if Ruby tells everyone it's so, how is he going to prove otherwise? Doesn't seem to even occur to Ruby that he might be guilty of her stepmom's death. At least I don't remember anyone speculating, but that seems to be a pretty big implication dropped in the middle of the movie, only for it to ultimately serve no purpose. Did Daphne really have to die just to get her out of the way of the plot? Couldn't we have just ignored her existence for a bit? And if Bruce is going to be so easily counter-blackmailed, is that a term? It is now. If he's going to be so easily blackmailed back, then does him knowing Ruby's secret really serve any purpose? Giselle dies. Jean says Paul doesn't want Ruby to bring Pearl to the funeral, if she even cares to attend. Mrs. Tate knows the truth about who Ruby really is, and she won't tell on her, but she's prepared to make her suffer. But that's before her beloved Paul drowns himself in the swamp. Then her vengeance is swift. She demands custody of little Pearl, who she claims to be her son's child. She's actually Beau's child. So even if Ruby is pretending to be her sister, Pearl still belongs with her and Beau, not Mrs. Tate. But Mrs. Tate either doesn't know that or doesn't care. And this is before the days of Maury Povich announcing on public television the results of your paternity test, so Ruby can't do nothing but sit and watch her baby being taken away. She decides she's going to tell the truth in court. She is not Giselle. She's Ruby. The lawyer laughs at her claims of pulling off this ultimate farce. Why on earth would Paul ever agree to such a thing? Ruby's at a loss for words, until she realizes that she still hasn't revealed the whole truth. And by whole truth, I don't mean the fact that Beau is actually Pearl's father, even though that would probably be just as compelling an argument as any other she's tried to pull out of her sleeve in court thus far. She has Mr. Tate, aka former Reverend Not So Wise from the Castile Saga, broadcast his past sin in open court. Just like he did in Fallen Hearts, by the way, when he announced that he was the father of Fanny's baby just to save Heaven's Earth in a custody battle. Interesting echo of his former character there. Anyway, he announces that Paul was Ruby's brother, and I guess that's relevant because Pearl couldn't possibly be his daughter because gross. Also, it explains why Paul would go along with such a farce as pretending his comatose sister-in-law, who's actually his bio sister, is really his wife, who's actually screwing around with her former lover boy, and living it up while he grows more and more depressed, and then delusional, and ultimately decides to die by his own hand. Sad story. I remember fans really hating Ruby for what she did to Paul in this book. It was pretty harsh, but I also seem to remember Paul being kind of reaper in the book. I can't remember. I don't think Paul was a very good guy. I think he was kind of pushy and should have just let Ruby go, and I think he kind of brought a lot of this on himself by not just accepting the reality of their situation. Thanks again for having me on your channel, Althea. And yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5, I think. To all of you out there who aren't familiar with my channel, it's The Real Life with Jennifer Woods, so please check it out. Please subscribe to Althea's channel and have a great day. Thanks for stopping by to listen to our unfiltered thoughts on this continuation of the Landry saga.
Nail on the coffin. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming to my channel and discussing All That Glitter Isn't Gold by V.C. Andrews. Of course, you can get these books from the library, and I'm pretty sure they got the movies too. But Lifetime Movie Club has these movies also. If you haven't already, you might want to run to it. And if you haven't already, please check out Jennifer Woods' channel. You don't want to miss any of her updates or her movies or any of her deep dives. But let's get into All That Glitter Isn't Gold. Where do I start? Where do I begin? How do you even talk about being a twin? Like, Ruby was actually one of my favorite movies out of the V.C. Andrews collection. all of them are good movies, but I think Ruby was the one that really stole my heart. Because it was so captivating. She didn't know she was a twin, and she had a half brother, and she married him, and then she was in love with Bo, but she couldn't have Bo, but her sister Giselle married Bo, and then Giselle became ill, and they swapped places, and it was just like a mess. And then her Ruby's mother-in-law was trying to get her little girl that was actually Bo's child, and it was just like they're trying to figure out how they're going to get their daughter back. And I felt so bad for Ruby, and Ruby was having a lot of fun being a Bia, and I was just like, oh my god, is she really acting like Giselle? Because Giselle was the twin that said any and everything and was a Bia, and she was just ugh. And it was just like, I don't even know how to put it, but V.C. Andrews was on something when she wrote these books. And as Jennifer mentioned, a ghostwriter had to finish because V.C. Andrews sadly passed away. So they finished her books and they published them. I think her nephew is over her estate. So, because I don't think V.C. Andrews had any children. I don't think that I can think of right now. But All That Glitters in the Ruby series, it was really good, and I loved Jennifer Woods' recap on it. I really did feel bad for Ruby when she had to go through court, and then she had to put her mom's business out there that her mom got with a guy and she had a child, and that is Ruby's half brother. And in the first movie, Ruby finds out about her half brother. She didn't know she had a half brother, because I was always wondering why her grandmother didn't want her to talk to him. And when her grandmother told her he's your half brother, I'm looking like, hold the heck up, another incest movie? Oh my god! Because okay, if you have not watched Flowers in the Attic, this is a major spoiler. The siblings end up falling for each other and getting married. So it's just like, okay, we got some incest going on again. Okay, yeah, it's kind of deep. But Ruby, I really did like it. She didn't want to marry her half brother, but she went back home to the slums, and her father had passed away. Her and Giselle's father passed away, and her stepmother was a Bia, and it was just a lot. And her stepmother ended up marrying somebody else, and I think he married her for money. And then her stepmother sadly passed away, and I believe that the stepfather had something to do with it. It was just a mess. But her and Giselle were, I wouldn't say they were close or whatever, because Giselle was evil, and Giselle married Bo because he couldn't have Ruby. But him and Ruby, like Jennifer said, they came up with the idea of bumping and grinding, and she told him, he was like, well, don't you think such and such have a problem with it? She was like, oh no, we're like siblings or whatever, we're half siblings. He's like, well, you're not technically cheating on each other. And I guess him and Giselle went somewhere, and she got bit, and she got really sick, and she ended up passing away. And yeah, and then it was just a mess. But I'm glad that Ruby got her daughter back, and her and Bo got to raise her or whatever, because I was team them anyway. And I was really upset because I was like, damn, Giselle really did marry Bo, and she knew, because I think she wanted Bo in the beginning, but Bo didn't want her when Ruby came along. And yeah, it's a lot, y'all. But Ruby was a good one, and All That Glitters was good one. I liked that one too. And I hope you guys enjoyed our reviews, and please check out more of our videos, because we have more to come. And of course, check out Jennifer's channel, because she got some reviews, and she just did 2 recent videos recently here, and I think a week apart or so, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but I know they're recent, so you might want to go check those out. All right, thank you guys so much, and check out All That Glitter Isn't Gold by V.C. Andrews.